Okay, guys, this is the last week. This is the last week before the final, next week. The final is going to be next Monday. And if you miss the final, you won't pass this class, okay? So I think there's only one student that's not here tonight, and she kind of told me what was going on with her. So if you pay attention today, and you have a face and a pulse, you're probably gonna pass this class. You have a really, really good chance of passing this class, okay? Some of the things that are on the final, there's one thing that was on the final that I don't know if we covered or not. And I'm pretty sure that we did, and it's the file manager, okay? And that is Control F. So if you can go into, if you have your computer on, go into Control F.
Do you want us to go into the lesson file manager?
Or the print mode.
File manager. Totally flips.
Okay, and this is what it looks like. You don't really need to know what it does right now. That's gonna be in the advanced class, more in the advanced class. But what you can do is you can copy, move stuff, rename stuff, delete, make ASCIIs, backup. You can really do a lot of things in this thing. So really the only thing that you need to know is just Control F for File Manager. Okay? Everyone has a pen and paper? You're going to want to write this stuff down, trust me. Okay? Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions and see how much you guys have kind of learned over this. And hopefully you learned enough or been paying attention enough. So, okay. If you're in a file and you want to join a paragraph, how do you do that?
Control J.
Control J. Write that down. Control J joins a paragraph. So if you have a paragraph down here and the end of a sentence down here and you want to put the that paragraph with the end of the sentence, is Control J. Okay? How do you delete a line? Not a word, a whole line.
Uppercase.
Control D?
No. A whole line. D, Control, D in hyperkeys deletes a word. But if you want to delete the whole line, it's Control Y. Control Y deletes a whole line. Okay?
Lowercase y? Or
Control Y.
just control?
Yeah. So if you want to read in some notes, say you weren't doing real time, you have to put your notes in. How do you read in your notes? What's the command to read in notes? Not to translate them, but to read in notes. You're going to insert notes. Anyone? That was probably in the first couple of weeks, so maybe you
haven't
remember.
used for that.
Hmm?
We don't use that at all.
F5 you enter is for a word, right?
That's to find. F5 is to find something. It's Alt-I. So what Eclipse tries to do is they try to keep the letter close to what you're trying to do. So what you're trying to do is insert notes. Okay? So Alt-I allows you to read in notes or insert notes. Read notes, insert notes is Alt-I. Okay? Now what if you want to translate those notes?
Alt-T.
Alt-T. Very good. So Alt-T allows you to translate notes. Okay? Now what if you want to open a file? You're on this page right here, and you want to go into a file without using any of this stuff, and it's a command. What do you do?
Alt-E.
Alt-E. Alt-E is like an enter. Enter a file. So Alt-E opens a file. Okay? Now what if you want to go to your user settings?
Alt-U.
Alt-U. And we can have class participation. It doesn't have to be just one. So Alt-U for user settings. U for user settings. Okay? What if you want to open your dictionary? It's one key.
Aside from going to the dictionary. Icon.
Aside from going to the dictionary icon.
F9.
F9. Very good, John. F9 allows you to open your dictionary. Now, there's nothing that kind of coincides with that, like D for dictionary or blah, blah, blah. So you just have to remember that one. F9 allows you to open your dictionary. The command to open File Manager.
Control F.
We just did that, guys. Control F. Control F for File Manager. Control F, File Manager. Allows you to open that File Manager. And it kind of gives it to you. Right there. File Manager, Control F. Okay, Val. How do you open HyperKeys? How do you go into HyperKeys?
Alt-Z.
Alt-Z. I think I ask you guys this one every week. That's
Took
probably,
us a solid month to get it though, so.
some are a little more stubborn than others, and that's okay. It happens. Alt-Z. How do you move left in HyperKeys?
Okay.
J.
J. The letter J in HyperKeys allows you to move left. How do you move up?
I.
I. I in hyperkeys is up. How do you move down?
K.
Okay. K in hyperkeys is moved down. So if you want to global something, what's the stroke for global?
G,
G. G. In hyperkeys. In hyperkeys, G for global is for global. Make sense?
That's with the lowercase g, right?
Just G.
No, we do
Yeah.
it in hyperkey.
It's just G. Why?
Because on this cheat sheet, lowercase g says global, and this is all in hyperkeys, and the uppercase one says go to.
Yeah. You don't want to go to, you want to global. So it's just G. Okay? It doesn't really matter what you think on the test. Okay? All you need to know is it's G. Okay? That's all you need to know. G. All right? Don't worry about anything else. All you need to know is it's G. Okay? What is a command for entering prefixes and suffixes in hyperkeys?
a little bracket? Or no, never.
No, it's a command.
Yeah.
Control J.
No.
I can picture it on the.
It's just one letter.
Wait, was Control J not it?
No.
What was the question again?
Entering prefixes and suffixes.
Yeah. In hyperkeys. So it's only going to be one key.
W,
W. W lets you put prefixes and suffixes. Okay? It brings up that little table, remember? And it kind of coincides with what the letter is. A for ability, B for, I don't know what. C for, I don't know what. But like G for ing, D for ed, S for es, or plural, blah, 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 okay? So W allows you to put your prefixes and suffixes, okay? What's a command for delete a word in hyperkeys?
D.
D. D for delete in hyperkeys. What's a command if you want to insert text in hyperkeys?
N.
N. N is for insert. Insert. I don't know. But I mean, that's kind of what, because I is up, okay, in hyperkeys. So N was the closest that they had. So that's for inserting text, okay? The command for opening the speaker list. I know we didn't talk about this a ton, but we did talk about it a little bit.
F2,
F2.
F2.
F2 opens your speaker list. F2. Okay? So if you're in the text and you want to put a question in there, what is it?
Q.
Oh,
No. It's a
F3.
F3.
Oh.
F3. I know where you were going with that. Q puts a question mark at the end of the sentence. So no, that's That wasn't what I was asking. If you want to put it, the question symbol in there, it's F3. F3 is for the question symbol. I mean, not the question mark, just the question symbol, okay?
Have y'all ever done Q&A?
I did a little bit.
Because that's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Just
Yeah.
the letter Q, and then it's the question. Then it's the letter A and the answer.
Yeah.
So that's what he's talking about.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think I've shown you guys before, and if not, then
thank you.
let me go into something and I'll show you. See if I can find it. And that's what it looks like. The question, answer, question, answer, blah, blah, blah. So if you want to do it, say you're right here and you want to put it, a question in there, all you do is F3. Okay? F3 allows you to put a question in there. And for an answer,
F4.
F4. F3 is for question, F4 is for answer. What if you want to add a fixed line?
F8.
A fixed
Control
line?
P, is
So you
that-
just want to make a whole new line.
I just put Control P.
Control P is for-
Okay. Well, it's Shift F5.
And that's the same thing as control
Yeah.
P, though? Okay.
I don't do that because my keyboard is funny with the F keys.
Okay. Well,
So I
we're not
just-
going to do the test on your keyboard.
You
So
said
you need to
shift
write this down.
F5?
Okay.
Shift F5. Okay? That's all you need to know. Shift F5 is for a fixed line. Got it? Shift F5, Shift F5, fixed line. What's a print command in Eclipse?
Something O. Hyperkey
Alt F?
O. Oh,
Alt O. Alt O is the print command. So you're right here, Alt O takes you to print, okay? I know in everything else, you've heard it's P, Control P, and anything else in any other computer command, you can mean anything, do Control P. This is not it. In Eclipse, it's Alt O is the print command. Okay? And the command for find and replace. So say you want to find something. Say you want to find a word, Jeffrey. We just talked
F,
about it.
Just F.
Hmm?
F.
It's actually F, what I was looking for is F5. Okay? So let me see. So say you're in a document right here, you want to find it, F5 is find and replace. Okay? So find and replace is F5. Okay? if you want to capitalize something in hyperkeys, what is it?
The A.
A. A in hyperkeys is for capitalize. Don't ask me why. It just is. But it's A. And the oops command
Alt C.
See,
in hyperkeys is Z. So it's just one command in hyperkeys. And it's Z. Okay? What's a command for opening user settings?
Alt U.
Alt U. Did you write all of these down? Everyone that I told you?
you're on 27, as a matter of fact.
Yes, it was back here about like the sixth thing you asked.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now, you don't need to write anymore. If you've written them all down, then you have it.
And will there be anything else on the test that's gonna be a surprise that we didn't
Maybe,
discuss here?
maybe not.
It's cool.
That's the way it goes. So sleep well. See you Monday. We're gonna go over it a little bit more, guys, but that's what we just covered, okay? So if you study what I just told you, and you have a face and a pulse, you're gonna pass this test, okay?
So the best thing you do is to go into a document and kind of play around with it?
You should have been doing that for the last 14 weeks or so, 13 weeks, but
I'm
yes.
putting it on the record.
I put it on the record every week. Use the stuff that we've been doing every week, okay? But yes, it wouldn't be a bad thing to go and just kind of mess around with this stuff just to see what it does, you know? I try to put some of the more important things on there, you know, and a lot of the stuff is right here, guys. It's right there, okay? You're not gonna open your computer though on Monday, but it's right there, okay? And I'm telling you, if you study what I just gave you, and you come in here with half a pulse, you're gonna do fine.
Is it,
Okay.
so is this written?
Yeah, and it's gonna be multiple choice. Okay? So I'm gonna go over some of this stuff and I'm just gonna kind of go down the line here, okay? And I'm just gonna ask you questions and see if you guys can remember. Okay, so Carmen, what's a command for going into File Manager?
The F button.
What's that?
I'm trying to think, and I can't find it in here.
It was the first one.
Oh, control, well, no, I've got Control J, that's my first note.
Yeah, Control J was joining the paragraph.
Yeah, to join it.
For File Manager, File,
The F, Control F.
Control F,
Yeah,
Control
there it
F.
is, okay.
yes. Sarah, to delete a line?
To delete a whole line,
Yeah,
Control Y.
thank you, Sarah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm good with that.
Okay, Sarah, if
Yes,
you want to
sir.
translate notes,
Alt T.
Alt T. Jonathan, if you want to read them in,
To read notes?
yeah,
Oh, I,
Alt I. What's your name?
Christine.
Christine, sorry. To move left, and hyperkeys.
J,
J. To global something?
G,
To delete a word?
Delete a word. D.
Delete a word.
D.
Very good. The command for an answer? Carmen?
for an answer, it's F3.
For an answer?
What do you mean for an answer? Like to enter the answer? F3. Oh, that's right, question, F4.
F4.
Sorry, yeah. Is
F4
it all the time?
enters the answer. To insert text. N. To add the answer. Jonathan? F4. It's not, I promise, I'm not trying to trick you. It's just, I'm just trying to get you guys to,
Answer the same thing twice. Answer the same thing twice, so we can,
to listen to what I'm
Yeah.
asking you
so we can get
so
it.
that you can get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to trick you. It's just, listen to what I'm asking you so that, it should just, start coming like that, To add a fixed line, Christine?
Is Shift F5.
Shift F5. Oops. And hyperkeys.
Control Z.
Cap a word.
A.
Okay. Print command, Carmen?
The O. Just the O. Alto.
Alto. Join a paragraph.
Control J.
Control J. Delete a line. No, delete a line, not a word, a
Control
line.
Y.
Control Y. To open the user settings,
Alt U.
Alt U. To go into your dictionary,
F9.
F9. To go into hyperkeys,
Besides pressing the icon.
nothing's gonna be easy with you, is it?
Let's see now, G is global.
Every week I tell you.
I know. Kind of thinking about it. I'm not doing it in my notes. Oh, Alt. I was thinking about Alt Z is zap. That's what I associated Alt Z with.
What are you zapping?
Like when you want to zap something out.
I don't think we've zapped in the 14 weeks you've been in here,
Okay.
but
Alt Z.
Alt Z. Okay. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. That is it. Okay. Study these things I just gave you, and you're gonna do fine. Okay.
Okay, because I've got oops, the oops key for Alt Z.
No. What's oops?
Plain Z.
Z.
Ah, okay.
Is it at 6 on
You
Monday?
Zap.
better write it down because
Yes.
6 o'clock on Monday?
6 o'clock on Monday, guys.
Here.
If something happens that you're gonna be late, call me, text me. Hey, I'm
Send
in
up a
traffic,
signal.
something happened, blah, blah, blah. If I don't hear from you, and everyone's done with the test and we're gone, and you do not take that exam, you get an F for this class, okay? It's not real hard, guys. Show up Monday. That's all I need, unless something comes up. And I understand, God forbid, death